So in standing, we're going to think about our standing position. So you're going to put your feet together, then you're going to turn your toes out, and then you're going to turn your heels out. So our feet will be roughly underneath our hips. When we're in standing, we're going to take our index fingers and put them on the bony bits on the front of our hips, and we're going to wrap our thumbs round. And we're going to imagine our pelvis is that bucket of water, and we're going to tilt our pelvis forwards. So if your bucket was full, there'd be water falling out the front. Then we're going to tilt it back, so there'll be water out the back. So we're just going to tilt forwards and backwards. And then I want you to find that point where if the bucket was totally full of water, there'd be none spilling out the front or the back. We're in our nice neutral spine position. And from there, we're just going to take our elbows into our side. So we're going to keep this position here, keep our ribs down. And from here, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Or we're going to do elbows stay into side, palms stay up to the ceiling, and we're just going to take our hands out and then back in again. Out. Try and give them an extra squeeze at the end, and then back in. And we go out and back in. And we go out. Keep going. And back in. And out. And back in. And then we're going to add in a little bit extra. So we're going to go out. As we go out, we're going to turn our palms and take our arms out to the side, so we'll end like a big T shape. And then we're going to reverse back in, so palms to face the ceiling, elbows come in. We're going to take our hands out, reverse into that position. So all the movement is just coming from your shoulders. And what I want you thinking about doing, as we take our hands out, try and take them as far as you can before you then take them out to the side. And reversing back in, taking them out. Lovely. Keep going. 2 more. Out. Back in and out. And back in. Now you take your hands down by your side, still keeping this nice neutral spine position. All we're going to do is keeping our shoulders away from our ears. We're just going to take our arms up above our head, and our arms are going to make that nice wine glass shape. And then we're going to bring them back down again. And then we're going to take them up and back down. When you're taking them up, I don't want you to arch, but I do want you to take them to that point that is as far back as you can go. And then coming back down again. Imagining that our arms are in like an overhead squat position or like our snatch position. And coming back down, making sure we keep those ribs down so we're not flaring them. We take them up and we have an extra squeeze at the end, and then we come down and we take them up and back down. 1 more. Up and back down. Now we're going to do a similar thing. I want you to have your headlights in the front of your hips are pointing forwards. We're going to take our arms up, and then as we come down, we're going to rotate to the side and bring our arms down, but I want your hips pointing forward, so all of the movement is coming from your waist. Then we're going to come up through the middle and down through the other side. So we're coming up through the middle and down. Those headlights are pointing forwards, or we're just twisting at our waist and moving our shoulders. Up and twist and down. Up and twist and down. So you might feel a bit of a stretch across your upper back as you move. Maybe a bit of a twist in your waist. I'm going to do 1 more to each side. Back up and down. Lovely. Now I want you to take your arms overhead, still keeping that nice position there. And we're going to work on moving our hips on top of our waist. So from here, you're going to reach up with one hand. As you reach up with that hand, your waist goes that way. So we're working on dissociating our ribs and our pelvis. So we're reaching one hand up and opposite way. That's it. So you stick the opposite hip out, then back to the middle. Reach with one arm, stick the opposite hip out. Back to the middle. Reach with one arm, stick the opposite hip out. I'll do it kneeling so you can see me a bit more. So you're reaching and back to the middle. and you're reaching. So really stretching all the way down this side and back to the middle. And we're reaching and back to the middle. That's it. Lovely. Really nice. Reach and back and reach and back. One more on each side. Reach and back. Last one. Reach and back. And bring your arms down. Okay. We're now going to do 3 roll downs, which we've done before. I want you doing them nice and slow. So arms are nice and relaxed, feet are about hip width apart. You're going to take your chin down to your chest, roll those shoulders forwards and curl that spine all the way down. Remembering to keep those legs vertical. Those hips stay stacked on top of your knees, which stay stacked on top of your ankles. I want you to go down just as far as you can. Pause at the bottom for a second or 2, and then you're going to tuck your tailbone underneath. And you're going to stack bone on top of bone. Really, really slow for me. Trying to curl that spine all the way up. When you reach the top, we're going to do that again. So chin comes down to chest, roll those shoulders forward. Peel that spine all the way down. Unraveling bone by bone, keeping that tailbone tucked underneath. All the way down to the bottom. Pause at the bottom for a couple of secs. And then tuck that tailbone underneath and stack bone on top of bone. Nice and slow. All the way up. And we're going to do that one more time. You're going to curl all the way down. And you're going to hold it at the bottom. So we're going to curl all the way down. When you get to the bottom, you can either just hang there, or you can hold on to opposite elbows and let the weight just drag your upper body down to the floor. Feel a bit of traction in your upper back. A little bit of a stretch there. And just hold for a few breaths. Hold it there. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. And then from there, we're going to put our hands on the floor and we're going to walk out to downward dog. With our hips nice and high. We're trying to push our armpits towards our knees. Hips stay nice and high. So I don't mind if you stay up on your tiptoes for this, because we're more trying to get that upper back and shoulder stretch. If we were trying to get more calf and hamstrings, we'd be trying to take our heels down to the floor. If you want to do both, feel free. But otherwise, I don't mind if you stay up on your heels. Up on your tiptoes, and we're trying to push our armpits back towards our knees. Ears are alongside your shoulders, so we're not looking at our hands. Neck's nice and neutral. We're just going to hold it there and feel that stretch. And then if you want to take that stretch a little bit deeper, you can try and keep those hips nice and high, but come down onto your forearms. So we're doing more of kind of a dolphin pose. It changes the stretch a little bit in your upper back. But again, you can hold it there for a little bit. Lovely. And then we're going to come down onto our hands and our knees. And we're going to have a lie down on our tummy. So, lying on our tummy, I'm going to keep my head up because otherwise you won't be able to hear me. Arms are going to be alongside, hands flat on the floor. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. What you're going to do from here is you're going to roll your shoulder blades back, so lift your shoulders and probably your head and your neck, but again I want your neck to stay neutral. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, making sure that your shoulders stay away from your ears. So it's almost like you're putting your guns in your holsters. And then you're going to lift your hands off the floor as well if you can. And then we're going to roll everything down. And we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together and lift our hands off the floor. And then we're going to come down. Then we're going to roll our shoulder blades off, lift our hands off. And then come down. So really opening out at the front. So squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your hands off. Hands down, shoulders forward. One more for me. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, lift those hands off. Now what we're going to do, we're going to hold it here for a moment. And what I want you to try and do is try and squeeze your thumbs towards each other. So they'll probably end up on your bum, but you're really trying to squeeze those thumbs together. You might feel a bit of a stretch across the back of your the front of your shoulders. Hopefully you can feel those muscles, your lats working, those muscles in between your shoulder blades. Keep holding and then relax everything down. I'm going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together, lift those hands off, pull those thumbs together, squeeze those thumbs together, really squeeze, keep that neck nice and neutral, squeeze and relax down. We're going to do 1 more. So we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together, lift those hands off, and then squeeze those thumbs towards each other. Really try and get them as close as you can. Mine are nowhere near touching, but yours might, who knows. Squeeze, hold there, and relax down. Now we're going to do the same, we're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to turn our palms down to the floor. So this changes everything slightly. But your palms are facing the floor, so thumbs are kind of pointing away from you. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your hands off. So you'll find that your hands are probably further away from your body now. You're going to hold there. Hold there. And then hands come down, relax your shoulders. Then squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift those hands off. Hold there. Lovely. Hands come down, shoulder blades come down. 1 more time. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Lift those hands off. Hold. Neck's nice and neutral. Hold there. And come down. Okay. Now we're going to take our palms facing the ceiling again. And we're going to put our the backs of our hands on the small of your back. Elbows are out to the side. If you did, I think it was Friday's class. We did these in Friday's class. So from here, you're going to lift your hands off your back if you can. You're going to take them out to the side. You're going to rotate, hands, palms down to the floor and take them overhead. And then you're going to reverse back down. So palms facing the floor. Then when you get to about waist level, palms face the ceiling and then come onto your lower back. And keep going. What I want you thinking about doing is as you take your arms overhead, when your arms are alongside your ears, try and keep your shoulders away from your ears. So we're not trying to do a shrug. We're trying to keep our lats engaged, to keep our shoulders away from our ears. So keep going for me. Keeping those hands off the floor the whole time. Lovely. Now to make it slightly harder, you can lift your upper chest off as well. So it makes it a bit more like swimming. Keep going for me. Lovely. And then wherever you are, I want you to do 2 more. Nice and slow, really working through the whole range of your shoulder. Keeping those shoulders down away from your ears. Lovely. Awesome. And then when you've done the last 2, we're going to take our arms out into a T shape. Still lying face down, but then we're going to bend our elbows. So your hands are almost kind of alongside your face, probably just above. Like with skydiving, if you like. Smashing, you've all got it. So from here, thinking about when we did that exercise before where we're squeezing our shoulder blades together and our shoulders come down away from our ears, we're going to do that. So we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together, almost rolling your shoulders back. And you're going to lift your elbows off the floor and your chest. So you'll probably find that maybe your breastbone comes off, maybe the bottom of your ribs is still on the floor, but we're in that skydiving position. I want you to think about keeping that neck nice and long. So our neck's still nice and neutral. We're going to hold it there. And then we're going to come down again. And again, we're going to roll those shoulders back, squeeze those shoulder blades together and lift up. And hold that position. It's almost as if someone's trying to pull your ponytail up towards the ceiling. And hold there. And then come down again. And again, you're going to roll those shoulder back, squeeze those shoulder blades together, lift those arms and that chest up. So we're skydiving. Lovely. And come down. We're going to do that again, and you can either stay doing this or we can mix it up a little bit. So we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades, roll those shoulders back, lift off. Now you can either stay here or trying to keep your shoulder blades away, shoulders away from your ears. You're going to try and slide your hands up so that they're alongside your head. And then you're going to slide them back down. And again, take those arms overhead and back down. Really nice. Take those arms overhead and back down. 2 more. Arms overhead, back down. And again, 1 more. Arm overhead, back down. And rest everything down on the floor. Okay. From there, just take your arms nice and wide, so we are in T-shape. And you're going to take your right foot over to the left side, trying to keep that left shoulder down on the floor, so we're getting a bit of a stretch across your pecs. And just hold for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to come back to the middle and do it the other side. So taking that left foot over to the right, keeping the right shoulder down, feeling a stretch across the front of your chest. Awesome. Lovely. Okay, now we're going to come onto our side, so in our side plank position, on our forearms. So when we've done side plank before, we've just kind of done it and not really thought about what's going on. We're going to try and have a little bit more of a focus on your shoulder, so the shoulder that we're weight bearing through. So we're going to do it with our knees bent, and we're going to push up so we're into our side plank. Now from here we're going to do a thread the needle, but I want you to think about, as you do it, thinking about keeping this shoulder that's down away from your ear, and almost try and think about your shoulder doing the movement. So you're really moving around your shoulder, as opposed to just kind of collapsing in your shoulder as you come down. I want you thinking about keeping that shoulder away from your ear, rotating so you're pushing through that elbow as you come through, and then back up again. We're going to do 5 on this side, so we're going to come down, and then we're going to come all the way up, and we're going to come down. If you're struggling to feel anything, think about trying to pull your forearm down towards your feet, and everything will engage a little bit more around your shoulder. 2 more. 1. And last 1. 2. Lovely. And then come down again. All okay? Brilliant. Right, we're going to do that again. So we're going to do 5 times again. If you want, you can make it a little bit harder and do it on legs extended. So we're doing this movement, or you can stick with doing it on your knees. So we're just going to do 5 again on this side. So again, think about keeping that shoulder away from your ear, either on your bent knees, or you can straighten out to put more pressure through your shoulder. But again, thinking about what's happening with that shoulder. Really nice. Underneath and back up. Keep going. 3. 2 more. Last 1. Down and back up. Lovely. Lower everything down. Okay. Give that bottom arm a shake if you need to. We're going to come back onto our knees now, if you were doing the harder version. And we're going to come into this position. And we've done this before. We're going to take one arm overhead. Again, thinking about keeping that shoulder away from your ear. You can either do a knee to elbow, or you can come in front and we'll do a hand to foot. But again, still trying to keep that foot off the floor. So we can either do hand to foot, so more of a squeeze, or more of a side, depending on how you feel today. We are building up to doing dead bugs, so both will work nicely, but still keeping active through that bottom shoulder. Good. Do 2 more. 1. Last 1. Good. And relax down. We're going to swap sides. So everything we've just done there, we're going to do on the other side. Lovely. So, back onto our bent knees and on our forearm, and we're just going to come up into our side plank. Again, think about keeping that bottom shoulder away from your ear. We're just going to rotate round 5 times. Keeping that shoulder nice and active. Like I said before, if you're struggling to feel it, think about trying to pull or squeeze that forearm that's on the floor down towards your feet. You'll feel your lats engage a little bit more. 1 more. And relax down. Now we're going to do that again. And again, you can either do it on your knees or you can do it in a full side plank, whatever you feel up to doing, but exactly the same thing, 5 more times. So we're going to come up into our side plank or a full side plank, keeping that shoulder away from your ear and rotating round through that shoulder 5 times. Rotate. Pulling that forearm down towards your feet. 2 more. Keep that shoulder away from your ear. 1 more. Down. Lovely. Now we're going to come back onto our knees. And we're going to come up into side plank again. One arm is going to come up alongside your ear and you're going to straighten that foot out. And again, we can either do knee to elbow or we can do hand to foot. Both are brilliant. And we're just going to do a few reps here. Lovely. Keep going. 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Lovely. And come back down. I'm just going to angle this a bit more. Nice. So, I said we were building up to dead bugs, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off nice and easy. So, lying on your back. I want you to think about that neutral spine again that we talk about all the time. So if we just remember how we set up, we have thumbs together on your belly button, fingertips, index fingers pointing down towards your toes. And if we had a marble in that diamond rolling from thumbs to index finger, we can get to that point in the middle where that marble would stay in the middle of that diamond and it wouldn't move anywhere. Throughout our dead bugs, until I say, I want you to think about keeping that position. So you're going to float both hands above your shoulders, keeping that nice neutral spine position. And then from there, you're going to take one leg up to a tabletop and then the other leg to a tabletop. First of all, I just want you to pause there. Make sure we're still keeping that nice neutral spine and those ribs aren't flaring. And then from there, we're going to take one arm overhead alongside your ear, almost so the thumb touches the floor if you can, without losing that neutral spine position, and then bring that back up. Then you're going to take your other arm down to the floor, and then you're going to bring it back up. Then we're going to take one leg and take it away. Straighten that leg as if you're turning off a plug socket, and then bring it back. And then you're going to take the other leg, take that leg away, and then bring it back. Now you're going to do opposite arm and leg. So you're going to take one arm overhead, hold for a second, and come back. One arm overhead and the opposite leg, and come back. Do a few reps. One arm overhead, opposite leg goes out, and back. Alternate the sides, and back. One more on each side. One arm overhead, the opposite leg goes away, keeping that neutral spine position. Lovely. And then we're going to do same side. So left arm and left leg go overhead and leg goes away. And back. Right side. And back. Keep that neutral spine position. Left side. And back. Right side. So we're doing same arm and same leg. Beautiful, guys. Keep going. Alternate those sides for me. And then we'll meet back in the middle. Now we're going to do left leg and both arms. So both arms go overhead, left leg goes away. back to the middle. Both arms overhead, right leg goes away, back to the middle. Left leg goes away, both arms overhead, back to the middle. Keep going, keep that neutral spine position. Keep alternating legs. If this feels a bit tricky for you today, at the moment, do opposite arm and leg, whatever feels right for your body. Lovely. Really nice. Keeping that neutral spine position. Awesome. And then if you want to make it harder, you can do both arms and both legs. Take them away. Both arms and both legs. Bring them back. Trying to keep that neutral spine position. Both arms and both legs. And come back. Both arms and both legs. Really nice, guys. Lovely. And back. Okay, rest there. Both feet down. I want you to take your feet about the width of the mat. Arms out to the side. Rock your knees down to one side. So just stretch out that hip flexor. So feet are nice and wide. Width of the mat. Knees down to one side. Hold for a couple of seconds. Come back to the middle. Swap sides. Knees go to the other side. Lovely. And back to the middle. Okay, we're going to climb back into our dead bugs. But we're going to vary them. So we're going to add in a little bit of a crunch. So instead of keeping your head flat down on the floor, we're going to lift up. If that's too hard, you can stay doing the version we were doing. But hands come over your shoulders. Both legs come up to a tabletop. And then I want you to think about squeezing your ribs down towards your hips. So your shoulder blades lift off the mat. Lovely. We're going to hold this position. You'll notice in this position you can't maintain that neutral spine. Your low back's more pressed into the floor. That's fine, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Now we're going to take one arm overhead so it's alongside your ear. Then we're going to come back to the middle. We're going to take the other arm overhead and come back to the middle. Do the other side. So alternate sides for me. Keep those ribs squeezed down towards those hips. One more on each arm. Lovely. And then hold those arms there. Then we're going to take one leg away and come back to the middle. We're going to take the other leg away and back to the middle. Alternate. Other side. Back to the middle. Other side. Back to the middle. One more on each side. Down and back. One more. Down and back. Now we're going to do opposite arm and leg. One arm goes away, one leg goes away. Come back to the middle. Other side. One arm on the opposite leg. Back to the middle. Keep thinking about having those ribs squeezed down towards your hips. Lovely. Keep going. Awesome. One more on each side. Back to the middle. Last one. Back to the middle. Now we're going to do both arms and one leg. Both arms go overhead, one leg goes away. Back to the middle. Both arms overhead, one leg goes away. Back to the middle. One more on each side. Back to the middle. And away. And back to the middle. And then if you want, we can try and do both arms and both legs. Back to the middle. Lovely. Both arms and both legs. Back to the middle. One more. Awesome. Relax your shoulder blades down, feet come down, hands come down. Really nice. Then I want you to just hug your knees in towards your chest. Hug them in, rock a little bit side to side, massage the back of your body. Lovely. And then we're going to rock a little bit forwards and back. So we're going to come up and sit up nice and tall. So come up to sitting, and we're going to roll back over. We're going to come onto our hands and our knees. And on our hands and our knees, we are going to take our left arm underneath. So we're going to thread that needle underneath. We're going to get the back of our left shoulder on the floor. And we're going to feel that twist. And if you want to make the twist a little bit stronger, that right hand, you can walk up around your head. So we're just twisting a little bit more. Using those fingers to twist into that movement. Feel the stretch across your upper back. And then come back to the middle, swap sides. Right arm underneath, back of your right shoulder on the floor. Hold there, feel that stretch. And if you want to walk those left fingers around the top of your mat. And stretch. And then come back to the middle. Now we're going to come and lie down on our tummy. Hands underneath your shoulders. And we're just going to push up into Cobra. Feel that stretch down the front of your tummy. Then I want you to look over your right shoulder and try and look at either your right toes, or if you want more of a stretch, try and look at your left toes. Feel that stretch more down one side of your tummy. Then come back to the middle and look over the other side. So look over the left shoulder at those left toes. And back to the middle. And then just to finish, we're going to push back into child's pose. So knees nice and wide, big toes together. Sink those hips back down to your heels and reach those arms forwards. Reach those arms forwards. And 5 really nice big deep breaths here. Awesome. And we're done.